who gets the honor here? There you go. Good thing.
Appreciate it.
God bless you guys.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
for all your work. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. A few years ago, I got a call from the brothers of the Alpha Omega chapter asking me to attend a discussion about the importance of organ donation at Lifebanc. I was extremely hesitant. Being an organ recipient, I really didn't want to be made a spectacle of. And I really didn't want to share my story with a group of strangers, but because I wanted to support the undergraduate brothers, I attended the panel discussion. After listening to story after story, some of triumph over organ failure, some about the loss of a loved one, I shared a small snippet of my personal story. 5 minutes later, I was in a big green chair being interviewed and cameras were flashing in my face, which is exactly what I didn't want to have happen. About a year later, they asked me to participate with the Stepping for Life program, and I declined because I, again, did not want to share my story. I really wasn't ready yet. I have to admit that I was truly curious why a group of college men wanted to devote so much time to an organization like Lifebanc, so I did some investigating. I found out that the relationship between Kappa Alpha Psi and Lifebanc began in 2011 when Brother Roy Bumpers served as a representative designated to share his story dealing with his diagnosis of chronic kidney disease. The Alpha Omega chapter rallied around Brother Bumpers and Lifebanc working at various Lifebanc events, most notably Stepping for Life, an event that is near and dear to all African American fraternities and sororities. Brother Bumpers and the Alpha Omega chapter wanted to work with Lifebanc to spread the word for the need of organ and tissue donors to young African Americans and the Black Greek community in general. I also learned that my brother Vajon Williams served on Lifebanc's Multicultural Council, the Diversity Committee, and the newly merged Community Development and Outreach Committee. Brother Williams volunteered on several donor drives, the Gift of Life Walk and Run, and has sat as the chair for the STEP show since the inception. Brother Webster has donated his time with Stepping for Life events, helping in several different capacities while as an undergraduate, and continues his diligent work as a chapter officer with the Cleveland Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. Last fall, I received a call from Brother Bumpers asking to speak for him at the Iota Phi Theta 50th Anniversary Gala. They coupled their celebration with Lifebanc to address, again, the importance of organ and tissue donation. I had no intentions of speaking or participating until I found out that the fraternity's grand historian was going to be present, and as the vice polemarch of the Cleveland Alumni Chapter, protocol dictated that I be there to receive him in the absence of our polemarch. I was really nervous about that, but seeing that there was no getting out of having to tell my story, I consulted my personal advisor, my business manager, my therapist and attorney, all fancy ways of saying mom, and to discuss my dread in sharing my story. My mother told me very simply that I would never truly know how my story may impact and affect somebody else's life, and it would truly be a sin and a shame not to share it at some point. So taking the sage advice of my mother, I told my story for the first time in detail to a room full of strangers, and contrary to what I thought the response would be, it was overwhelmingly positive. I heard stories of support, strength, and sorrow. I heard stories of victory, hope, and defeat, all centered around the wonderful mission that Lifebanc embarks on daily. I knew at that moment that I would do whatever I could to assist this wonderful organization going forward, and knowing the level of altruism we hold dear as fraternity brothers, I was confident that the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated would lend their support, talents, and time to this noble cause as well. When Yolanda called me and asked me to participate in Stepping for Life, film a mission moment, and appear on Channel 5 with her, I gave her a resounding yes. About a month after the Stepping for Life event, my lovely fiance and I were at the Cleveland Clinic finishing the last steps to be reactivated on the transplant list when we decided to grab some lunch, and a young lady walked up to us and said, "Excuse me, aren't you that Kappa that was featured at the STEP show?" I was surprised that I was recognized, but I replied, "Yes, I am." The young lady went on to tell my fiance and I how she registered on the spot to be an organ and tissue donor after hearing our testimonial, and I knew two things at that very moment. Number one, my mother is always right. And number two, Lifebanc is an organization that the brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi will always be proud to serve and partner with for many, many years to come. Thank you very much.
I was pretty articulate, Brother Cole.